Bavaria, Germany's largest state, lies in the southeast corner of the country and is bordered by Austria and the Czech Republic. One of Germany's most popular tourist destinations, Bavaria is filled with attractions and offers some of the country's most beautiful scenery. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 rated attractions and things to do in Bavaria. And just wait till you see what's at number 1 that we're going to be showing in this video. Something you would never even have thought of, so make sure you watch till the end. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more awesome travel guides, and make sure you hit the notification bell so that you know when we publish a new video. So now let's cut to the chase. At 10, Herrenchiemsee. King Ludwig II of Bavaria chose an island in Chiemsee, Bavaria's largest lake, as the site of his third and largest palace, Herrenchiemsee. He envisioned it as a rival to Versailles in its grandeur and splendour, even to the Hall of Mirrors, but it was only partially completed when he was drowned near Neuschwanstein. What a way to go, at the age of 40. Much of the palace had been completed as he envisioned it, including the Hall of Mirrors, state staircase, state bedroom, and Ludwig's small apartment, decorated sumptuously in the Rococo style. The King Ludwig II Museum displays artifacts and furnishings connected to his life, and the surrounding gardens, also patterned after Versailles, are decorated with fountains and statues. You can reach the island by boat from Prien or Stock. Guided tours of the palace, the only way you can see it, are available in English. On the smaller Frauenkirche island is a monastery founded in the 8th century and extended in the 12th and 13th centuries. Parts of the original remain, and the present church dates at least from the 11th century. That island is the scene of a charming Christmas market each December, a Christmas market featuring fine handmade gifts and decorations. Next up at 9, Dachau concentration camp memorial. Before World War II and the Nazi era, the little town of Dachau was known for its castle and as a plein-air artists' colony. Today, the attractive town's name is almost synonymous with the Holocaust, as the site of the notorious Dachau concentration camp, where 41,000 people died during the Nazi regime. The KZ-Gedenkstätte Dachau is now a somber memorial to those victims and to the countless others like them. Barracks and cells have been reconstructed, and the stories of its prisoners are told through photographs, personal accounts, artifacts and documents. Guided tours in English are offered daily, or you can visit with knowledgeable guides to interpret the site on a Dachau concentration camp memorial site tour from Munich by train. Next up, at 8, Königssee and Kehlsteinhaus. One of the most beautiful spots in Bavaria is the emerald green Königssee, a lake surrounded by steep wooded mountainsides and the rocky cliffs of the Watzmann Range. On its shore, the distinctive red domes of the little pilgrimage church of St. Bartholomew reflect in its clear waters. The church dates to 1697, and inside is beautiful stucco work. You can reach it by boat from Schönau, and a footpath leads along the east shore of the lake for superb views of the church and lake from the Mallerwinkel. Nearby Berchtesgaden is one of the most popular resort towns in the Bavarian Alps, surrounded by mountains, the Hoher Gol, Volsmann, Hochkalter and Untersberg. You can't drive the 6.5 kilometer long Kehlsteinstraße, the steep road to the infamous symbol of power of the Nazi regime known as the Eagle's Nest. Instead, you can ride the gleaming brass elevator through the mountain. Like the mountaintop Kehlsteinhaus itself, it was built to impress. In fact, Hitler was rarely there, and today it has only a few original features, but it's still a grim reminder of the horrors of that era of unbridled power. Inside is a restaurant with panoramic views of the Alps. Talk about change the subject. At 7, Linderhof Palace. Linderhof Palace was King Ludwig II's favourite, and it's easy to see why. Although it glitters with lavish ornamentation, its size and its setting amid cool green forests give it an intimate and livable quality. On a tour, you'll see the Hall of Mirrors, the audience chamber that Ludwig used as a study, the 2 tapestry chambers, the king's bedchamber and the dining room. On the required guided tour, you'll hear stories about this eccentric king. A tour is also required for the Venus Grotto, Ludwig's fantastic man-made cavern, but you can explore the lovely gardens and grounds on your own, where you'll find both landscape and formal gardens, fountains and pools, and the Moorish pavilion. And now at 6, Rothenburg and the Romantic Road. The three medieval walled towns of Rothenburg ob der Tauber, Dinkelsbühl and Nordlingen are highlights of a driving route that winds scenically through the rolling countryside of Bavaria and northern Baden-Württemberg. Rothenburg is one of the best preserved medieval towns anywhere in Europe, its postcard-perfect streets lined by half-timbered houses and its shops and cafes marked by intricately crafted wrought iron signs. Walls enclose the old town and seem to hold it from tumbling down into the Tauber River below. It's December all year round at the town's most famous shop, Katerwulfhart's Christmas Village, just off the market square. Careful how you say that. Dinkelsbühl owes its prosperity to the wool trade of the 15th and 16th centuries, when the row of gabled houses in the Weinmarkt were constructed. Look especially for the ornate wooden trim on the Deutsches Haus and for the 16th century patrician Hesselhof. Each July, Dinkelsbühl celebrates Kindersäcke, one of Germany's most colourful traditional festivals. The 10.5-hour romantic road, Rothenburg and Harburg day tour from Munich follows this picturesque route, stopping at Harburg Castle before arriving in Rothenburg. And now at 5, Nürnberg Castle and Altstadt, the Old Town. Although badly damaged in World War II, Nürnberg's historic Altstadt has been painstakingly restored to its pre-war condition. Enclosed by more than 4 kilometers of walls that dates from the 12th to the 16th century, the Old Town is dominated by Nürnberg Castle, a 351-meter-tall fortification that's among the most important surviving medieval fortresses in Europe. Home of German kings and emperors for more than 500 years, Nürnberger Burg contains several historic structures to visit. The 15th century imperial stables, the pentagonal tower dating from 1040, and the 11th century Kaiserburg, a 13th century chapel, the well house, and the Sinwell Tower with panoramic views over the steep gabled rooftops of the Old Town. The Imperial Castle Museum displays medieval weapons and armour. Just beneath the castle is the half-timbered Albrecht Dürer House, a museum dedicated to the artist and his work. Other highlights of the Old Town are the Hauptmarkt, site of Nuremberg's famous Christmas market, and the 14th century Gothic church of St. Lawrence with its 9-meter rose window. Those with an interest in World War II history can join the 4-hour Nuremberg Old Town and Nazi Party rally grounds walking tour with an experienced local guide for an in-depth view of the city's long history. You will tour sites from the days of the Holy Roman Empire, the Renaissance and the Third Reich with a visit to Nazi Party rally grounds. Moving on, at number 4, it's Nymphenburg and the Residenz, Munich's royal palaces. The Munich Residenz, the seat of the dukes, electors and kings of Bavaria for centuries, is one of Europe's most spectacular palaces. In the summer, the royal family moved to their airy country palace of Nymphenburg, surrounded by magnificent gardens. The vast in-town Residenz complex encloses 7 large courtyards and has 3 main sections: the late Renaissance Alte Residenz, the Königsbau and the Festalbau banqueting hall overlooking the Hofgarten. The magnificent 16th century antiquarium is now part of the Residenz Museum. Highlights to visit here include the Treasury, the Court Church of All Saints and Cuvillier's Theatre, along with the old courtyards and the beautiful court garden. There's a much different atmosphere at the later Baroque Palace of Nymphenburg, which seems to float above its canal, gardens and fountain-splashed pools. In the 17th century central pavilion, built in the style of an Italian villa, you'll find the lavishly decorated 3-story stone hall and furnished private chambers. In the outer buildings, you can visit the Palace Chapel and a collection of state coaches and carriages in the Marstall Museum. For many, the highlights of Nymphenburg are its magnificent 17th century gardens with its formal bed, hedge maze, palm house and fountains, and the Marienplatz, a grand hunting lodge featuring a hall of mirrors. At 3, it's Zugspitze and the Bavarian Alps. Bavaria's Zugspitze is part of the Wetterstein alpine mountain range that spans the frontier between Austria and Germany. Surrounded by steep valleys, its 2,962-meter eastern summit is reached by cable car from Eibsee or by the Bayerische Zugspitzbahn cog railway, a trip that begins in either Eibsee or in Garmisch-Partenkirchen. The cog train takes you to the Zugspitzplatt, from which a short cable car ride reaches the summit. The mountain, Germany's tallest, is extremely popular among hikers and casual walkers alike, with numerous trails of all levels to choose from. Those who want the views without the steep climb can ride up and walk down. At the Zugspitze Westgipfel station is a panoramic restaurant at 2,950 meters. The nearby Nymphenburg on the northern edge of the Zugspitzplatt is a popular place for skiers to visit in the winter. The highest skiing area in Germany, it comes alive as winter sports enthusiasts from across Europe arrive for the superb snow and après-ski activities. The Bavarian Alps extend south from Munich to the Austrian frontier and from beautiful Lake Constance in the west to the neighbourhood of Salzburg in the east. Reaching heights of almost 3,000 meters, their beauty enhanced by deep glacier-carved valleys and high plateaus with numerous lakes, the Bavarian Alps offer plenty of things to do. Along with winter sports, there are summer excursions of all kinds. Forest walks, waterfalls, easy climbs and gondola rides to spectacular views. In the countryside, deep in its valleys, lie some of the most beautiful towns in Bavaria. Especially picturesque are the towns of Garmisch-Partenkirchen, Mittenwald and Berchtesgaden, with their colourful painted houses and Baroque parish churches. On a Zugspitze day tour from Munich, you can travel through the Bavarian countryside in an air-conditioned vehicle with a guide and take the cable car to the top of Zugspitze, riding back down on the cog railway. Next up, at 2, Marienplatz and Frauenkirche, Munich. Munich, the capital of Bavaria, is the third largest city in the country and home to many of Germany's top tourist attractions. On the river Isar, along the fringes of the Bavarian Alps, it's one of the best places from which to explore Bavaria. A good place to start is Marienplatz, the city's large central square, one entire side of which is formed by the magnificent neo-Gothic facade of the Neues Rathaus, New Town Hall. The Glockenspiel, a huge clock animated with moving figures, performs every morning at 11 a.m. and at 5 p.m. March through October, always drawing a crowd. One end of the immense square is formed by the stair-stepped facade of the Old Town Hall, and behind the other end of the square rises the distinctive twin-domed towers of the Frauenkirche, the Cathedral of Our Lady. A few steps from Marienplatz are two more of the city's most important churches, Peterskirche, built during the Romanesque period, and Michaelskirche, the largest Renaissance church north of the Alps. Marienplatz is the centre for many of this always busy city's cultural activities, from regular concerts and festivals to its fabulous Christmas market. There it is again, Christmas market! And finally, at number 1, Neuschwanstein. Perhaps Mad King Ludwig II was eccentric in his choice of a fairy tale-inspired neo-Romanesque style for his castle, but his choice of setting was pure genius. The spires and towers rise from a rocky crag above a forest and lake, with a panorama of Bavarian Alps rising beyond. Widely recognised as the inspiration for Walt Disney's theme park castles, it is every bit as fantastical inside as it is when first viewed from below. The throne room, the singers' hall and other grandiose rooms are sumptuously decorated, some might say over-decorated. Well, I wouldn't. In themes drawn from heroic legends, opera and romantic literature. The views of the Alps from the windows are simply breathtaking. On a facing crag is another castle of the imperial Wittelsbach family, Hohenschwangau. Not far away is a king's hunting lodge, Linderhof, an equally fanciful architectural confection. You can combine tours of both King Ludwig's palaces with a stop in the beautiful Bavarian village of Oberammergau on a 10.5-hour Royal Castles of Neuschwanstein and Linderhof day tour from Munich. And there you have the top 10 rated attractions and things to do in Bavaria. Did you like what you saw? Let us know in the comments down below. Share this video with your friends and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fantastic travel guides. Auf Wiedersehen and see you next time.